But taking, this opportunity, I'd like to introduce Sashin Japan Center and the Sashin Business School and the Professor Fujioka, because, this kind of collaboration between LJI and the Sashin Japan Center was started 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, one JICA expert who was Japanese came to Sashin, and then he asked us to collaborate because at that time, Sashin Japan Center was very performed very well, and then the guy was interested in collaboration with us. Yeah, okay. So let me share some slides. Can you see this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So by the way, any of you has ever heard of Sashin Business School in Thailand? If you know, could you please raise your hand? Raise your hand. Anyone knows? Have you heard? No.
No.
What about Ponkyo Sensei? Have you heard?
No, I have not known about this, but I know the words Sashin, but actually what the meaning I didn't know.
Oh yeah, okay. So Sashin, the meaning is kind of the king of rabbit.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so let me start like this.
Sashin.
Yeah. So Sashin is a business school. We provide the MBA, the degree. So same as LJI, right? And then now, we are very westernized and then try to attract, good students, mainly in Thailand, but some of them have come from Japan and outside Thailand. So inside of the schools like this, very, very open air and then creative atmosphere. So
Is it belong to Chulalongkorn University?
Yes, it is part of Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. Yes. Taro-san, what are you doing now? Can you hear us?
Yes. Another people? Yeah, clearly.
Taro-san, can you hear us? We cannot hear your video voice.
Right.
So can you start it again from the beginning? Seko-san? Just a moment. I'm gonna send through the chat.
Sashin.
Okay. Yeah. So could you see my video? Because my laptop, yeah, okay, that's good.
I see, but I cannot hear any sound.
Oh, really? Maybe
we couldn't hear any sound. So can you
maybe
we mean the sound from video?
Yes, I think you have to change your volume from your computer.
Yeah, because I made it max, but maybe lack of performance of my laptop is not that good. So maybe, yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so you saw at least the motion picture, right? Okay. So,
a little bit.
A little bit, okay. Yeah. So actually, Sashin was established 40 years ago. So with collaboration between Chura and then Kellogg and Wharton,
Oh,
which are the top schools in the States, right? And then we try to extend our scope. Now we collaborate with many international schools in the world, including Japan, right? And then we got accreditations, international one from US and one from the Europe, right? And then, as I said, we are collaborating with top schools in the States and even in China and then, UK as well. Yeah. And then one of our key activities is to develop social entrepreneur like LJI. So we created many events like this. So as you have seen in the video, our school, the classroom, is very unique and very, very creative, like venture companies or startup companies. Right? It's not all the.
Sorry, teacher, the sound cannot hear for the listening for the everything.
Already?
Yes.
the sound is quite small.
I can hear you, but can you make it more a big voice? Because I think you wear a mask.
Okay. So better take off the mask.
Yes, if you don't have any person around the office.
Is that clear?
Yes, it's much clearer.
Okay, yeah.
It's better.
So as you have seen in the video, so our classroom is very creative and open air, right? It's not even much better than Japanese school. It's like more US schools or some leading startups in the US. Right? Okay.
Good.
Sorry, my computer got frozen. Just a second. Now we have many alliances all over the world. So Australia, Canada, China, France, Germany, Hungary, India, Italy, Japan. Maybe you can find some schools which you know. I don't know, my computer is dying, so somehow I cannot scroll.
I think you should close your video first. I think you open maybe too many files.
Okay. Oh, I see. No. Oh, okay.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, yeah. And then, so, we started with the collaboration with two students, right? Kellogg and Wharton. And nowadays, we have over 40 partners all over the world. I'm sure, those schools are top school in their own countries. And then for Japan, we have like Waseda and then Meiji University, that kind of universities. Actually, Meiji University, where, Fujioka Sensei has taught, since 2018, thanks to him, we made a alliance, partnership with them. And then we recently, started up the liaison office. So each other, I mean, Sashin, we have their own, their room, and then Meiji has Sashin room in Tokyo. Yeah, like this. And then, yeah. And then since, one of our key, goal is, to develop, the entrepreneur. So we have, many programs to, develop those, successful social entrepreneurs. So we do many field studies, and we do kind of the business plan competition, inviting, from all over the world. And then, once we launch the program, so these kind of the companies are also, happy to collaborate with us. So sometimes, they can be sponsor, and sometimes they can be the site. Site means allowing students to do consulting project. Yeah. Anyway, Sashin established 40 years ago. So this year, we are celebrating our anniversaries. Okay. So last of this part, I have another slides. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry. Our main campus is in Bangkok, but actually we have a branch office in Phuket. So
Phuket,
that's the second video showing our office in Phuket. It's like a resort hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, one day, when we launch a seminar or something, you can visit us in Phuket.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then after this, I also want to share some slide, SJC. Yeah. So Sashin Japan Center is a part of Sashin. So we are kind of research and consulting unit. Why, we established this unit is, the connection between Japan and Thailand is very strong, and especially for Japanese manufacturers, it's very important to develop, Thailand for their, manufacturing side. So nowadays, the Thailand, they produce over 1 million cars. Actually, they're operated by Japanese company. So the number 1 million car is ranked in top 10 in the world, right? So of course, the number one is China, but the Thai can be ranked in top 10, as you may know. And then same things, we have, nearly 6,000 companies are already registered in Thailand, and over, 70,000 people, expats, they live in Thailand. So, considering this, conditions, Professor Fujioka, 10 years ago, he proposed Chulalongkorn University to establish Japan Center, because the primary purpose of the Japan Center is to connect government, university, and companies, and of course, at the national level, connecting, Mekong countries and Japan. So before Fujioka Sensei assigned to work in Sachin, we didn't have this, but after his arrival in Sachin, he started to building up this kind of center. So SJC actually has three pillars. We do research, we do consulting, and we do training. Yeah, and all these three activities are led by Professor Fujioka, because he does research, and then after he does after he has done some research, he published the book, and then based on those research outcomes, he is also happy to share those research outcomes to the companies through the consulting. And the same things, he also happy to develop business executives, from Japanese companies who want to develop their business in this region. So those fields, we are doing, basically. And then now, the key lecturer today is Fujioka Sensei. So I'd like to just mention some key points from his CV. Actually, now he's doing, director of Sachin Japan Center, as well as taking professorship at the major university. And also he's doing visiting professor at the Nagoya University, Commerce and Business. And also, he's teaching at the Waseda Business School, one of the top universities in Japan. And then he has written many books in Japanese and in English, using his research outcomes. And also, apart from those academic activities, he is very keen to practical side. He's always encouraged to work with a business person, because he wants to help those Japanese companies in this region. Because nowadays, Japanese companies face difficulties to compete with other Asian companies like Korean, Chinese companies. So he and then we Japan Center wants to support those Japanese companies. Yeah, and one of key highlights in his series his degree, because he was educated in Oxford University. He got master degree and then PhD degree from the Oxford University. Yeah. So I roughly pick up our activities. So for Japan Center, almost every day, not now due to the COVID, but before COVID. So we have lots of guests from the Japanese university and the Japanese companies and the Japanese government. So like you see in the slide. And Professor Fujioka is very popular among those guests. So many people want to talk to him and get advice from him. Yeah, this is a newspaper article about our partnership with Meiji. And since now, as I told you, he has taught in different schools, like before, like Keio Business School, and recently again Waseda and then NUCD, Tsukuba, Meiji. So actually, we want to combine those alumni networks in one organization. Before, KO has their own alumni. I mean, alumni means who took Dr. Fujioka's class. So every year, 20 to 30 students take his class. So, since 10 years ago, we have, many alumni from the Professor Fujioka's class. So about 4 years ago, we started to combine those alumni networks in one organization. And then every year, maybe twice a year, we organize events to combine all of them. And then also SJC, we are happy to welcome interns. So not only the students, but also interns, young junior staff from the companies, aged before 35. So those interns, they work in Sashin Japan Center as our staff, and then spending 3 to 6 months, and then they go back to their own companies. So in the past, we had Hitachi, Kawasaki, Fujitsu, those big companies. And then, right, so earlier, I explained Fujioka Science has been published many English and Japanese books, and some of books, 4 to 5 his books are very popular in Japanese bookstore, and even Amazon, they sell his books, as you see in this slide. And then for the education part, we have actually collaborated with Nikkei. Nikkei is one of the biggest economic newspaper in Japan. So Nikkei also wants to develop their business in this region. So we agreed to collaborate, and then we did several events like seminars held at Sashin. So every year we have different theme. So sometimes we have regional revitalization, or sometimes we have HR, sometimes we have type plus one strategies, like you see, right? And then just before the COVID, we had very big events. We had 300 something from the government companies held at Sashin, focusing on smart city. Because smart city is one of the hot issues in Japan and also in Thailand. And so before COVID, we are also eager to have executive education. And this picture, those people come from the ION. So ION, they already have developed their branches in ASEAN. And this seminar, actually, the 2 or 3 of them, actually, so all the countries, ASEAN countries, so some of them from Malaysia, some of them from Indonesia, some of them from Thailand. So this is kind of ASEAN, the cross-border sessions. So Professor Fujioka also led this seminar. And then also, as I mentioned, he is very, very popular. So many company presidents ask us his advice, how we perform and what we should make a strategy, or that kind of an advice he was asked. And then this picture was seen to show the dinner session, dinner talk. We had 30 Hitachi presidents. Actually, Hitachi is a very big group company. So Hitachi has maybe 30 something companies operating in Thailand. So we invited all the presidents, almost all, not everyone, but 80% of them joined this. And while having the dinner, we had a speech from Professor Fujioka. And then also looking back to our last 10 years, we are also worked very hard with JICA Thailand. So we completed several projects. Maybe I would say one project a year, big one. And then, yeah, so we try to, work very closely with JICA Thailand. And then also, we also interested in promoting the collaboration, business matching between SME level. So since Professor Fujioka is advisor for the SME association in Japan, which is called Doyukai. Doyukai actually is the largest, very large, because they have nearly 50,000 corporate members in Japan. And then Doyukai asked Fujioka Sensei to lead kind of business matching event in Sashin. So every year we take presidents from Japan, and then we prepare some matching, the events for them. So apart from big companies, he's very helpful for an SME in Japan. And the next section is our social parts. Apart from the business, making the doing business, we also have done many social activities. Sometimes we focus on the women, like women in the limitless space. So we invited very famous Japanese astronaut, Mukai-san, the keynote speaker, and we talked about women's possibilities to advance in the society. And then other opportunities we invited Kano Sensei, which who is very popular about quality management. And then also we have had event about co-round table. This is kind of CSR event. At that time, we focus on the human rights. How we can improve human rights in these regions. And yeah, so Fujioka Sensei is very popular. So actually, he originally he studied accounting, but nowadays he knows many things: economics, strategies, management. Because the many people rely on him, and he's a man, he cannot refuse those offers. So if somebody asks his help, so he started how he can help those people, even out of his expertise, but he's tried to learn by himself, and then try to make a nice presentation for them. So this slide shows the digitalization in this region. Actually, the Thai government actually asked Fujioka Sensei to be keynote speaker. At that time, Fujioka Sensei is not that expert in this digitalization, but now he become one of the leading scholar in this field as well. And also, we encourage junior university students study in Thailand, because Thailand, like Chulalongkorn, Thammasat, those universities every year, they have many exchange students. So this is opportunity for us to combine those exchange students and then to talk their future career, how make the nice career, successful career like Fujioka Sensei did. So we gave advices to those undergraduate students. Yeah, this is another unique one. So one Thai region where it's very popular hot spring, those the government officials in those region, they want to collaborate with Japanese onsen places. So at that time, Royal Thai Embassy helped to bring those Thai officials to Japan, and then before going back to Thailand, they developed session. And those the activities are featured by the media. So sometimes Nikkei and sometimes other the newspaper magazines, they launch our activities like this. But unfortunately, we didn't much after COVID. But now it is a time, we reboost our activities like before. And then we did many interview events. We picked up several famous business icon, and then we made a kind of articles. How one of the topics is how we can be successful in this Thailand in terms of business. These messages are made for the Japanese executives working in Thailand. Yeah. So since Japan Center itself is not that big, but each project we have collaborators, partners. So nowadays, after 10 years, our network has become very big. Yeah, like this. Ponkyo-san, have you heard? Okay, yeah. Since I switched on the monitors, so I don't see any faces to keep quality of my laptop. So sometimes I just worry about whether my presentation can be conveyed to you. Okay. So
I think everybody can hear your voice.
Okay. And yeah, please be stunned. Just this is a last presentation from me. So please be and yeah. So I assume you roughly understand what we are doing right in Japan Center.
Yeah.
Right? So I briefly mentioned in my earlier slide. So we did this, but our the activity was not related to JICA anything at some 10 years ago. But somehow JICA people, they knew us, maybe word of mouth or something. And then one head of JICA Laos people came to Sashin through the connection with JICA Thailand, because at that time we had a good relationship with JICA Thailand. So JICA Thailand people asked us, JICA Laos, they are interested in SDGs activities. Can you meet them? And then we said, yes, of course. And then I asked the reason, because JICA, as you see in the slide, they have nearly 10 Japan centers in developing countries, right? Especially, the Mekong region is important for them, like Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos. I think Vietnam has 2 centers, I think. And so 5 centers in this region. And then they did, similar things, what the SDG has done. And I recognize this. And then JICA allows people to mention, we want to upgrade. So JICA Japan Center to another level. And then he actually wants to have advice from Fujioka Sensei, how we can Japan Center be successful like SCAC, because SCAC good point is financially independent. So SCAC, although SCAC is attached to university, but we don't rely on anything because we get revenue from the company, because by providing the consulting or we organize seminars, and sometimes we got research project from JICA Thailand, because those JICA research project is kind of paid project. So JICA pay us for our research. So those things. So due to those things, we secure our revenue, and then we work kind of the companies. So I think this is kind of a successful model. I would say this is kind of role model for Japan Center. So I think JICA Laos people at that time he wants to, learn how to do this. And then we started our, the network activities or connections since, 2012. So, I kept the pictures in my cloud. So in the following slide, I just showed some pictures. So this is the situation 10 years ago. So the picture on the right-hand side, so the face is familiar to you, right? The Laos, professor. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. We liked him very much, and then we, enjoyed our conversation, the collaborations since this day, 2012 November, someday in November. Yeah, this is actually the first meeting at Sashin. And then next year, Fujioka Sensei decided to visit LJR. So this is the first time. Actually, I was also visiting, but I took the picture. And yeah, so this is first day for Fujioka Sensei. He looks younger than today, but now he's still younger, but at that time he looks much younger. Looks 20s, right? And then, after LJR, we visited Jethro and other related places. And then, and also, he visited the security. Yeah. I don't know if, this company still exists or not. But, at that time, there are two major security companies. And then this is one of them. So while, Fujioka Sensei visiting kind of serious business trip, I and my friends just enjoyed the sightseeing. And I found that this is nice tank top. And I changed immediately with Lao flag. That was 10 years ago, me. Yeah. And then same year, a month later, after this, we came back to Japan a month later. So Laos government, one official asked us to join investment seminar held in Kobe. At that time, I wasn't interested in Laos that much, to be honest, but I was surprised because hundreds of people joined. Even, if this had a Tokyo, I can understand, but even held in Kobe is after my hometown. It's not that big comparing to Osaka or Yokohama or Tokyo, but still, Laos business attraction, those, core business person, over the hundreds of people. And then I think that we had a kind of deputy prime minister or something, or minister level of people came to this place and then gave the presentation. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't remember the name of the right-hand people, guy. Yeah. And then next year, again, 6 months later, we also again visited. But this time, the purpose is, to connect Japanese companies with Lao companies. So Fujioka Sensei, so while Fujioka Sensei gave the presentation, official JICA hosted the event, we took some Japanese companies, business owners. This at that time we took people from Harima region. Harima including Himeji. It's located in west part of the Hyogo Prefecture.
West part.
Yeah, so famous for Himeji Castle. So we took like 10 business person to the Laos with us. Yeah, and then we spent some time, several days, and then I couldn't prepare the pictures, but at some time we visited Tiger Beer. We had a beer company, beer producer. And also, we had a talk with some alumni of LJR who is doing business. And then we sought for some business possibilities, future collaboration. And then actually, just 3 or 4 years ago, we almost about to launch collaboration, another event, but somehow we couldn't make a scheduling. We missed the opportunity. So to be honest, since 2016 or something, we missed visiting Laos. But taking this opportunity today, right? So I and Fujioka-san is happy to visit Laos again after COVID sold out. Yeah. So actually, yeah, as you see, history is not that short. So 10 years long. And yeah, so we really want to boost up this relationship, and we want to support the country and also companies and the students. So that's why, we, Fujioka Sensei found it out. This opportunity is very good, to mingle with Lao MBA students and to share his knowledge. And also, since in the last years, he made opportunities for Lao students to mingle with Japanese MBA students from Meiji, Waseda, and Sashin. So, yeah. So, for this year, actually, last year, we did this networking session among the MBA students from Lao and Japan. But this year, from this year, we want to organize more, professionally. And then, so I was thinking, we, combine those practical parts to be, your formal evaluated the activities. So maybe after some time, I will explain what we plan to do through those, networking sessions with students from Meiji or other Japanese schools. So anyway, so I hope you understand roughly who I am and who Fujioka Sensei is and what is the situation and why we are doing this. If you are interested more, actually I have a Facebook, and then you search SJC Taro because I posted those pictures in the past, taken in the past, put on my Facebook. So if you want to know more about the Laos activities we did in the before, you can search this. And also on another KPI, me, I want to have more, friends. So I hope, you be my friends in Facebook. Easy. So please, thank you. Okay. So for this moment, maybe just, I will give baton to Fujioka Sensei. Fujioka Sensei, can you say something for this?
Not that much. You have introduced a lot already.
Okay. But
I think I'd like you to explain about the schedule of all of these sessions.
Okay.
And if you could explain something about the Saturday session to them,
Okay.
the structure of the sessions.
Okay. Yeah. So I see. Thank you. Have you heard anything about the Saturday event?
Yeah, because I have this lecture, I don't have any. They don't have anything. We just do the lecture on this plan only.
Okay. So I believe those
Yes.
those students, they haven't had much chance to talk to Japanese MBA students or business person, because although I say Japanese students, but they are very senior. So Japanese MBA students, average age maybe over 40 somehow, and then they are from SME owners or the executives from the big companies. So they have much experience in business. So I believe talking with them is very insightful for Lao students. And then it's memorable and then very enjoyable, I believe. So that's why I want to organize those networking session on Saturday. And
I think it's also good activity.
Yeah.
That's very good, I think.
Yeah. But Saturday, it's a very, very long day. We plan to 5 hours or something. So I separated two sessions. So one session is I'd like to ask Lao students to be this is kind of role playing. So I want to allow students become kind of presentator from the government. So I'm not sure you have heard the BOI in Thailand. BOI is a kind of government
BOI,
body, government body to promote, right? So Thailand. So their KPI, they want to have more FDI, like a foreign direct investment from the outside of Thailand. So regularly, they give the presentation all over the world. So like a BOI Tokyo or BOI Osaka. So once in a while, they have a seminar and then they give a presentation to Japanese business person. So getting ideas from BOI Thailand. So I'd like to ask allow students be kind of representatives of Laos government and then try to show the potential of Laos for Japanese companies be investing in Laos, right? So detailed explanation will be done by myself another session, but just today. So I want to split like several teams. So one team has 5 to 6, five persons. So each of you pick up one industry. So maybe you can pick up like, I don't know, banking, I don't know, energy. So each of you pick up one industry and then try to make a nice presentation. So giving for Japanese investors. So investors will be role played by the Japanese, the MBA on the Saturday. So 20, some 20, Japanese MBA students, they will come to see you on Saturday, and then they are happy to listen to your presentation. And then they make a comment or something after your presentation.
Yeah.
So
you need around 5 people, right?
Yeah. So each
and how long for one topic? How long?
So one topic maybe 20 minutes.
30?
No, 20.
20. Okay.
Yeah. So each team. So let's say we have 5 teams, right? And then each team has 5 people, right?
Yeah.
And then each team has 20 minutes presentation, including Q&A. So maybe actual presentation takes 15 minutes. Do you think is that enough? Or you want to talk more? I think 15 is okay.
So 15 to 20.
50 to 20. Okay, 15 to 20. Up to you. So for making this presentation, you have to prepare, let's say, 20 slides, 15 to 20 slides. So PowerPoint slides. So each team needs to make let's say 20 PowerPoint slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
PPT,
with, yeah, 20 minutes with 20 PowerPoint slides. And
20 slides.
Yeah. So roughly. And
roughly.
Yeah. So actually, we will have a preparation session, maybe day 3, day 3rd, or day 4th. I don't know. But anyway, those in preparation sessions, so all of you split teams and then start discussion. Then also start making slides. So maybe 20 slides can be divided 4 slides, right? So each person has 4 slides, let's say. Yeah. But you have to nicely organize your presentation. So how you start your presentation and how do you use evidence, because those presentation must be objective, not subjective from your own opinion. So you have to use your government statistics, and also sometimes you need to use, academic papers. Maybe some, researchers mention about Lao investment or Lao industries before, right? Through the academic papers. So I hope, Lao students use those, statistics and those, papers or books to make their presentation very nicely. Yeah. So far, you got my idea?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah. And that's the first part. So the first part, say, maybe first 2 or 3 hours. And then after this, we gonna have a second part. So second part, this is kind of more in a free discussion with Japanese students. So using those split into 5 teams. So we put 4 or 5 Japanese students into each group. So in the end, you have 10 people group. So 5 Japanese and 5 Lao people. So each 10 people group, they start the discussion. At this moment, we have space to choose topics, but tentatively, I suggest you work with kind of cultural gaps things. So how, what is difficulties for Japanese expat to work in Lao company or Laos or that kind of thing. And the same things. What should be Lao people care for when they work with Japanese people? Or that kind of thing, in business manner or something. Yeah, but after this session, I share my tentative idea with you through the email. So yeah, so this is more in a practical one. And then for taking this opportunity, I encourage Lao students, you want to, ask, real opinions from the Japanese investor. But I guess, so investment thing is, more, interesting, right, for you. Okay. So that is one part and the second part. So, and then going back to the first part, so since after, you gave the presentation and you received some advice from Japanese, the student, and then I ask you to revise your presentation based on the advices. So since, after after an advice from the Japanese side, you realize many things or you learn many things, this is missed the part, or we should add more, parts on this or that kind of parts. So I want to, allow students to revise your presentation and then submit to us as part of the outcomes for this, the course. Did you get my idea? So anyway, I want to you to submit your presentation kit after everything is done. So after your presentation, you got the advice from Japanese students. So you put those input in to revise your presentations. So when you submit your presentation to me, so you include all the inputs in your presentations. Do you get my idea?
Yeah. I will announce to the student, and then to let them determine about the topic.
Yeah.
And then I will send you.
Yeah. And then, but this time, the one session or 1 or 2 sessions of these 10-day sessions, we want to spend just for preparations. So I would say workshop.
Yeah.
So you roughly prepare you develop your ideas by yourself, but taking one session actually, you can ask me, how we develop this presentation, that kind of thing, and I'm happy to make advice. Because, I want to improve your presentation as much as possible before meeting, the people from Japan, so that, you can learn many, many things, right? Yeah. So even, so I think maybe 4 August. So 3 days ahead from now, 4 August can be preparation sessions. Is this good, Fujioka Sensei? So workshop can be done on 4th August. It would be nice to you? Or
Yes. If before Saturday.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so Ponkyo Sensei, let's say we have a workshop, only preparation for Meiji Japanese networking session. Let's say 4 August. So
Okay.
I will organize those sessions on 4th August.
Yeah, preparation session, right?
Yeah, preparing session.
On the 4th August.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because I'm sure I know those Lao students very busy, right? So they don't have much time in daytime. So we think, it's reasonable to spend some time in this, the session. So between,
Okay.
5:30 to 9 o'clock. Okay. Yeah. So, and actually I have written some, guidance or outline of what we are going to do is in English. So maybe after this, maybe I will email to Ponkyo Sensei. So just Ponkyo Sensei email share the students, and then we discuss more in detail things on the 4th August. Yeah, is that good? That sounds okay.
Okay, right?
Okay, yeah.
Of us.
Okay.
Do you understand what Seto Sensei explained about?
Okay. Okay. So I should, at about time, I should stop because I talked very much. So Fujioka Sensei, but I'd like to suggest maybe why don't we have ask them to introduce themselves just a few seconds, like 10 seconds or even 1 minute. Each of those, the Lao students introduced by themselves.
One people, one.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute or 30
But
seconds.
before that, can you explain about the case which we are going to use in these sessions?
Okay. So for case studies, we do like ING. Maybe, yeah. Ponkyo Sensei should have a list, right? So ING and also Rakuten.
Rakuten,
yeah. And then also Lego.
Right?
Yeah. So,
and the Bangladesh Fire company.
Bangladesh Fire company is not sure because if we have much time spare,
okay,
yeah, we do this. But at this moment, we focus on those 3 cases.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
that's 3 cases.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
Lego, Rakuten, and ING case.
ING.
Yeah. So order is not fixed yet. So depends on Fujioka Sensei. So which one goes first and then goes second? I don't know.
I think we better to start with the case of Lego.
Lego, okay.
Which is more focusing on general strategy, how you are going to formulate strategy, and what kind of analysis we are going to use when we analyze our conditions of the farm, right? And the second case, it could be ING insurance. This is a very popular case for us to understand global management and the trade-off between integration and adaptation. This is a very classical case. This is the second case.
Yeah.
And the third case is Rakuten case. This is for us to learn about cultural conflict. And when we try to introduce something, we always face organizational resistance. So how we are going to manage those kind of cultural resistance by using the case of Rakuten, which is one of the famous Japanese IT company. So I think before you to take the class, if you have a time, I would like you to read the case, and I will give you case assignment, case question. Taro-san, have you provided case assignment to everyone?
Not yet.
Not yet. So tomorrow, Taro-san will provide you the case assignment questions. So each case has 3 to 4 questions. And so when you read the case, I would like you to think about those 3 to 4 questions. Okay. And after that, in the class, we are going to discuss among the group first, and then we are going to discuss all together. Okay. So the important thing for us to use case, right? I'd like you to read, right? Even, you don't have a time, I'd like you to read, just 1 or 2 times so that we can discuss more during the session.
So, so students, they got the case already, or you will circulate?
They got that. They got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a time to go
they
through?
got 4 case.
Okay.
Yeah. But when we start from the first
one.
case,
From tomorrow, or?
maybe
Yes, I think tomorrow we are going to briefly explain about Lego and very basic concept of strategy for you to cope with the case.
Yeah.
And then we will give you case assignment questions. Right.
Okay.
And maybe 3rd or 4th day, we are going to do ING case. Right. And then maybe after the session between Japanese, Chinese, and Lao students on Saturday, we will do the case of Rakuten.
Oh, Rakuten, yeah.
Yes. And before doing those case studies, I'm going to explain the background of each case. Okay? Okay. Yes, Taro-san, you can continue.
Yeah, so Ponkyo sensei, for today's orientation, right? So if you allow me, I'd like us Lao students introduce themselves, and then okay, I want to know their interest or expectation from this the class.
But before that, I'd like to discuss with you about the structure of the class. Because in Tokyo, at my office, our office has to be closed at 11 p.m. It was same as last year. So meaning that I have to leave my research room 11:15 p.m. Right. So that would it be okay for you to shorten your break time? Because usually, how long do you take the break between one session to other session? 15 minutes?
Around, around 10 or 15.
Okay, 10 to 15. So we're gonna make it shorter for the bathroom break during the weekday, because we have to. I have to leave a little bit earlier than 11. Of course, I want to continue, longer, but this is restriction of Japanese university where I belong to. So same as last year, we're gonna make it a bit shorter for the break, and we're gonna finish, the class maybe 10 to 15 minutes earlier. Right? But Saturday, we can extend the class time if we want.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is announcement from me.
Okay. So Ponkyo sensei says, why don't we ask students to introduce themselves? And
like I would like to summarize in Lao a little bit. Okay. เมื่อกี้อาจารย์เพิ่นก็ได้ให้แนะนำเนาะเกี่ยวกับเรื่องเวียกที่เพิ่นเฮ็ดอยู่ Japan Center อยู่ประเทศไทยนะอยู่ Saching School of Business นะ แล้วก็นอกจากนั้นเพิ่นก็ได้เว้าถึงเรื่องนะให้พวกเราเขียนบท PPT แบ่งออกเป็น5กลุ่มละ5คนเป็น25-26คนแต่ละกลุ่มจะมีหัวข้อท็อปิกของไผมัน20นาทีแล้วอยู่ใน5คนมันมี20นาที20สไลด์มันจะมีนะคนหนึ่งต้องได้เว้า4นาทีเปลี่ยนกันขึ้นมาเว้า4นาที4 5 20นาทีกลุ่มหนึ่งมี5คนนะโอเคแล้ววันนี้แต่ละหัวข้อก็เลือกมาเองก็ส่วนหลายก็เป็นเลือกเกี่ยวกับเรื่องนโยบายบ่ยุทธศาสตร์ของรัฐบาลในการรับเอาคนญี่ปุ่นมาลงทุนนะหรือว่าเรื่องนโยบายของรัฐบาลเกี่ยวกับการพัฒนาธุรกิจบ่อันใดที่มีต่อกับการดึงดูดการลงทุนนั้นมันมีนโยบายจังได๋นอกจากนี้ความยุ่งยากเนาะเช่นว่าการยุ่งยากความยุ่งยากต่อคนญี่ปุ่นหรือว่าคนญี่ปุ่นยุ่งยากแนวใดในการมาลงทุนอยู่ลาวบ่คนลาวยุ่งยากแนวใดในการเฮ็ดเวียกกับคนญี่ปุ่นบ่ซั่นน่ะทำนองแนวนี้เนาะพอขอบประเภทนี้ส่วนว่ามื้ออื่นเพิ่นจะเริ่มอธิบายเกี่ยวกับเรื่องนั้นน่ะ introduction เกี่ยวกับ3คอร์ส3เคสที่เพิ่นให้มามีเคสของ legal เคสของ ING แล้วก็เคสของหลักคือเต็งหั่นเนาะเพิ่นจะแนะนำพื้นฐานและหลังจากนั้นก็สิสอนในรายละเอียดเพราะว่าอยู่ในแต่ละเคสมันจะมีกรณีศึกษาต่างๆในเรื่องการเฮ็ดธุรกิจที่เกิดปัญหาและแก้ไขแนวใดมันจะมีการวิเคราะห์นั้นอาจารย์จะให้เฮ็ดนั้นโอเคอันนี้มันสรุปต่อไปplease introduce yourself your name what you expect from this course เนาะแต่ละคนให้แนะนำตัวเองได้บัดนี้ทำบิดได้ชั่วโมงทำบิดเอาเริ่มเลย yes please start
And also, I want to hear their job occupation. So what they're doing in Laos. So your job and then your interest or an expectation.
Yeah.
Okay, please.
เฮามีความคาดหวังมุ่งหวังแนวใดในการเรียนในความหวังอันใดหนึ่งที่เกี่ยวกับการเรียนนี่ก็ได้เนาะโอเคintroduce yourself and include your expectation.
Yeah.
Mine.
So
please, who will be the first?
Maybe because I have a list. So why don't
okay? Yes.
Follow the numbers.
Follow the list.
Yeah.
It's better and faster.
Yeah. Anuwa-san, Shisa-tan-san, Tax of Vientiane Province.
Good evening, teacher. My name is Anusa Sinjapan. I work as tax office of Vientiane Province. My responsibility is revenue correction of Vientiane Province. For my respect from LTI for improve my knowledge better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next.
Van Kaham.
Professor.
Okay.
My name is Van Kaham Germany. I work at Airport of Lawata International Airport. I hope this course for the develops my new business in the future for the new experience for my develop myself. Thank you.
So Van Kaham-san, since you're working in airport, right? So you see many Japanese people. At the moment, not many, right? So due to the COVID. So you.
Yes. Yes. Japan has the Japan manager held in the building in the airport in Laos.
Oh, so what about tourists? So many Japanese.
How about tourists?
Tourists.
Sorry.
There are many Japanese people coming to Laos.
Not many.
Through your airport.
Yes,
Me,
sorry, I cannot hear for the here.
Okay.
มีคนญี่ปุ่นมาทางสนามบินหลายบ่
For airports, I'm not sure for the Japan people in visit because I responsibility about the security.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
Cannot for the
I understand.
service passenger. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Wrong question. Okay, next, please.
Okay, hello, teacher. My name is Dongshik Kwa.
Okay.
Now I'm working in Megafor Lao. Now we just about raising chicken, and I want to know about this class. What kind of global business? Yeah, like that. Okay, thank you.
Don-shik-san, this is your company name or Milk for Lao is a company?
Milk for Lao is company name, right?
Company name, right? Official
company
name. Oh, okay. I see. Interesting.
Good evening, Professor. My name is Intapada Siti Molada. I work for the Department of Road, Ministry of Public Work and Transport.
Sorry, I couldn't your name. So say again, please. Katia-san. Mr. Katia?
Mr. Katia, not. I am a Mr. Intapada.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Intapada.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I got
I number 4. Yeah, number 4.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Department of Road. MP.
Department of Road. Yes.
Okay.
Ministry of Public Work.
Mm-hmm.
I take care of the national road improvement. Yeah.
Very important, right?
Yes. The road number 13 North and 13 South that now are under the improvement and maintenance. Yes.
So,
and the other is the Mekong River Bridge from Polikamsai to Bungkan, Thailand. Yes.
Bungkan Province, Thailand.
Yeah, the Bungkan Province, Thailand. And I graduated from University of Khon Kaen, civil engineering. Yeah.
Oh, Khon Kaen. Okay.
Yeah, Khon Kaen University.
Fujioka sensei used to go to Khon Kaen very much because Khon Kaen has Mekong Institute.
Yes.
Have you heard this? So he is kind of advisor to Mekong Institute. Yeah. So even me, I visited 4 or 5 times. Okay.
Okay. So now I am not comfortable for open the camera. I am in the hospital.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I was by malaria.
Oh, really?
Malaria. Yes.
Malaria.
I admit yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, I think you can take a rest. You don't need to take the class. Are you okay?
I okay, but maybe I cannot have some comment or.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next, please, number 5.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor. My name is Mr. Katia.
Katia-san. Okay.
I am a graduate from Bachelor in Environment. Actually, I don't have any experience or knowledge about business before, but in order to join this course, because I want to, upgrade my knowledge about business as well. And I'm currently working for the World Bank projects in Laos, which mainly out to the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. My expectations for this course, because I want to, I hope that after the class, I hope to gain the knowledge on how to analyze this business global level, in international level as well. And the second point, it's I really want to, how to connect to the international level or international exposure to the business. So this is very important to me. Yes, so that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So you're still very young, right? So you don't have much experience in business.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So very brave man to take a MBA course. So good luck. Yeah. So Fujioka-san has much knowledge in those international business. So you can ask many questions to him.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
The next.
Okay. Good evening, teacher. I am Park Tavi. You can call me Nick. Yeah. Now I work at EDL Generation Public Company, and this is in my list. This is my own company is ST Bank, and my responsibility is HR department, and I graduate from Faculty of Economics, National University of Laos, and my expectation of this card is I want to know can appreciation for different culture, and the second point I want to know more understand more micro and macroeconomics. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So you said you own company, so ST Bank is your own company, or your?
Yes, my own company is ST Bank, but now I work
all the company. Okay, I see. Yeah, all the company.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you're owner. Okay, X company. Okay, I see. Yeah. So and then you love economics. Okay. Yes, next please.
Yes. Good evening, Professor. My name is my nickname is Mr. Geng. Now I work with the TPAS company, it's telecom company.
Okay.
My expectations for learning about this major because I need to improve and the knowledge and explain about the management. That my majors.
Okay. So nowadays, digitalization is very important, right? So I'm just curious, the mobile phone or smartphone, the number of the people who have a smartphone in Laos is nearly 100% or still 50% of, what do you think?
I guess I'm not curious about your question.
How many percentage of Lao people has
using
smartphone? Yeah, using smartphone.
But I'm not sure really.
Yeah, you can guess like 50% or 100%.
40% of
40%.
Yeah, something like that.
Is it quickly growing? I would say like 5 years ago or.
Yeah, I'm sure that is quickly growing.
Quickly growing. Okay.
Yes, for the smartphone because nowadays they lots of information transfer to like the rural areas something like that.
Okay. So very interesting.
The telecom now is the like develop BTS like the network something that go to other area. It is far from the center like the capital cities.
So e-commerce is popular in Laos. E-commerce, so people buy shopping through the smartphone.
Yes,
it's getting popular.
It's popular, but maybe it's not wise, not big, not big amount for the group of the people because I saw they shop only at the Thailand like Lazada and also
Lazada, yeah. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, teacher. My name is Pamandit Himchapakam.
Oh, nice.
I work at the commercial college. Commercial college under the Institute for Industry and Commerce. But for my works, I am lecturer about the promote SME and business plan for a student. Yes.
Oh, this is okay. So this is a school, right? Okay, I see. Do you know Suzuki Sensei, Mr. Professor Suzuki? Have you heard Professor Suzuki?
Professor
Suzuki.
Who used to advise to the Prime Minister in Laos, and then I think he now taking an initiative of like Lao Business College or something. Motoyoshi Suzuki. You don't know. Okay, forget it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so next please.
Good evening, Professor and everybody. I am Somdit Pomahan. Now I work as a Lao Telecom company. My responsibility is internal audit. Yeah.
Oh, this is also very important. Yeah.
My expect after class, I think my knowledge is improved better now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I don't know, the situation of the internet speed in Laos is getting faster. Like I don't know 3G, 4G things, but Laos is now 3G or 4G.
Pardon, Professor.
So what is the speed of internet in Laos? Like a third generation or fourth generation, 5th generation?
Right now we employ the 5G.
5G.
Yes.
Very fast. Okay, thank you.
But they cover some area, teacher. Some area in the main city.
Okay, in town. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Next, please.
Good evening, Professor.
Hello.
And everyone. My name is Thongput Kamansi. I am working at Lao Telecom also.
Same company. Okay,
yeah, the same company. For my responsibility also for the mobile station coverage.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Like 4G, 5G.
So just let me ask a question. So normally, allow people, how much you spend 1 month? I mean, for using the smartphone.
We split like this, smart home or smartphone.
Yeah, smartphone. So using the internet by smartphone, how much you spend normally? Like $10 or $20?
Pardon?
So monthly paid, right? Postal paid. How much normally allow people spend internet?
If we smartphone, it's for smartphone right now, the coverage, the 4G and 50 cover around in the 50 of the Lao area. So for the mostly it can cover around the 60%.
Yeah, but how much? I mean the money. How much? Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, money. How much? So like $5 US. How much?
For the investment, right? You mean?
No, not Lao people. So one Lao people spend how much per month?
Normally we can rate the 1% around 30,000 kip per day.
30,000 kip.
Yeah, right, per 1%.
Oh, so how much US dollar if you convert?
Around 3 US.
3?
Yes.
3 US dollar per day?
Yes.
Per month?
Per day.
Per day?
Per day per person. Per day per person.
That's very expensive. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Thank you very much. Okay, next.
Thank you.
facility. Only answer. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, interesting. So since I live in Thailand, and then last time I visited Vientiane, I saw some branches. Thai Bank opened a branch in Laos. Just like K Bank or SCB, they have a branch in Laos. But the situation is the same, or you have more number of the international bank in Vientiane at this moment. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, very important financing. Okay, thank you very much.
Taro-san, I think you missed number 10, Somushai-san.
Yeah,
I think you skipped.
Yeah, I realized this, but
yes,
I thought he's absent from something, but he's there, right?
Yeah, I can see his face here.
Oh, okay. So Somushai-san, please. Sorry, I missed.
Okay, sorry. Good evening, Professor. I'm Somsai Wongpajan. Now I'm working for Laos Chamber of Professional and Laos Chamber Professional Accountant and Auditor.
Very important.
I hand over on training, a professional training like a CPA, a CPT about accounting and auditing. Yeah. My expectation for this class, after learning this class, I expect I would be gain about experience about a variety of business development, how to improve my management skill in the future to develop my like a training topic or training plan in the future about the variety of business sector like a business field. Let's they do the business a different section like that.
Okay. I'm just curious. How many CPAs working in Laos now? So how many CPA registered already in Laos?
In Laos now, the latest update. Not too much. Only to 100 CPA for Laos CPA. 200 CPA in Laos.
Oh, really? So when you started this system, which year you started CPA system in Laos? Like 10 years or 15 years or 20 years? When? I'm just curious, when you started, Lao government started this CPA system.
Actually, the LCPA Laos Chamber start since 1998. 1998, yeah.
So after financial crisis in Asia.
Okay. Yeah, but CPA in Laos is not not active. Just too much when we compare to the other country around like an ASEAN country, like yeah.
Because if you have more listed company, so you need more CPA, right?
Yeah. Now we need to import CPA from like a Philippines, Thailand, or Vietnam like this.
Oh, you import
because we don't have enough CPA. I mean qualified CPA. We have many accountant and auditor, but not don't have qualified CPA.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting. Okay. Next please. Number 13, Mr. Bien Samai-san.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Sorry that I closed the camera, so now I am on the way. My name is Bien Samai. I work at the Lao Transport Engineering Consultant. We can call the short name is LTEC. I am civil engineering. Yes, sir.
This is company or government body?
Enterprise, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Next.
Hey, good evening, teacher.
Hello.
My name is Wanadet Manila. I work in Department of Mining Management, Ministry of Energy and Mines. So after this subject, I hope I will get new knowledge, especially how to analyze this about global business in the future.
Okay.
I think. Thank you, teacher.
So mine means coal, right? Or what kind of mine? The coal or?
No, I work in a government.
Okay. So still, the Laos depends on the those natural resources, right, to generate electricity.
Sorry, teacher.
Oh, okay, it's okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Mining.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the next, Mrs. Chirapan.
Yes.
From Achami. Sorry, I cannot pronounce.
Good evening.
Hello.
Questions. My name is Chirapan Pumachan. I am working at Nampai Power Company Limited. My responsibility is finance.
Okay.
And after this course, I expect about owning my own business and gain more about the knowledge about the business from this course and also from these subjects. Thank you.
Oh, so you want to set up your own company?
Yes, of course.
Near future. Okay. Okay. So yeah, for this kind of purpose, you should spend much, your energy to talk with Japanese investors, because if you have a nice idea, those Japanese MBAs may be able to invest you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Next, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is Hon-Ton-san.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Hong Thong Simong. Now I work at Bank of the Lao, India. I study LTI for the development forward organization. Sir. Thank you.
Okay. So Bank of Laos, it's a central bank, right?
Central bank, yes.
Oh, that's good. So you know many things for the cash flow in Laos. Okay. Next. Sawanakhet University, Mr.
Good evening, teacher.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Intavi Chanthavong. I work at Sawanakhet University.
I heard Sawanakhet also recently opened up industrial estate, right? So you have some Japanese companies, right? Do you? Sawanakhet.
Yeah, Sawanakhet University.
Yeah, getting popular for Japanese investors, I think. You see some Japanese companies in Sawanake? Or you don't see?
Have you seen them?
Yes, number 18, right? So,
Yes.
so good evening, Professor.
Hello.
My name is Kantali.
Mhm.
I'm from Ministry of Public Work and Transport.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am a government officer. I hope I will get update my skill, my skills, and can get up overview of business, how Japan, maybe something like this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Very important transportation. Okay, next.
Yes, good evening, teacher. I
Hello.
am 19, number 19,
Mhm.
Lasami Thong Pasit. Now I'm working at Department of Organization Personnel, Ministry of Energy and Mines. And my responsible for the finance and statistics of staff in ministry. I expect to take the knowledge that I have learned from LTI to improve and develop my work and organization. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Then next.
Good evening,
Hello.
Professor. My name is Nita Phopet-Puthai. I am technical staff from Department Planning and Corporation, Ministry of Energy and Mines. My responsibility is energy statistics. So, my expectation in class, nowadays COVID-19 has arrived, impact all over the world, especially in business that case opportunity and risk. So how to management or strategy to investment in business successful?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So you should ask this Fujioka Sensei and a Japanese student on Saturday. Okay. Thank you. And next, so Kun Pachita Odom-san. Hello.
I think he or she is not here today.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, so next, number 22, Kun Patom Bang.
Yeah, teacher. Hello, Professor. My name is Pathuwan Sithongdang. I graduated from National Universities of Laos, major in finance and banking. Now I work as Ministry of Energy and Mines. My responsibility about finance. My expectations after study here, I would be able to build my own business in the future. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. So by the way, so National University Laos is the best university in Laos, right? The number one university, right? So Laos, National University Laos. So people graduate from those universities. So which company or which industry is more popular to work in? Anyone can answer me? Nowadays, young generation of Laos students, which company or which industry or which nationality of the company do you want to work? You want to work US company, or you want to work like Korean company, or you want to sell me? So nowadays,
Let me say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think new generation want to work with government in Laos.
Oh, government okay.
Yeah. Many people have to work with government. Yeah. First, I think first, and second, maybe state enterprise.
Oh, why is that? Why people want to work government? So they are stable.
Because we believe that if we work with government is nothing least. Yeah.
No hard working.
Yeah.
Okay. And no fire. Okay. Yeah, okay. Very honest. Thank you. Next, please. ANG Bank. City on number 23.
Number 23. Absent.
Hi, teacher. My name is Siriporn.
Hello.
I work at ANZ Bank. My responsibility is financial officer, and my expectation is to study in MBA at LTI to develop my skill and useful to my job. Sorry, today I cannot open my camera because I'm at a hospital. I just got COVID-19 last week.
Already?
Yeah, so sorry to my
Oh, no, it's okay.
today.
Please take care. So please have a good rest. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. And next, please.
Good evening, teacher.
Hello.
My name is Sindawong Puichi Botong. I work in Interfinance Department, Lao Telecommunication Company. My expect after this class is to develop sales knowledge to improve my working skill to be better. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, telecommunication. Okay. Next, the student, national UN or something. Please meet Tipa Ifon.
Yes, good evening, teacher.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Tipaiwon Protija. I working with Shape the Children International. I responsible for supply chain officer. Yeah.
Supply chain. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. My purpose to study here. Too, I would like to learn how to operation and management to use in my work. Yeah. And in the future, I will run our business. Yeah.
So you want to have your own company?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. And then finally, number 26. Bitona and Kamdong.
Yes.
Oh, LGI.
Good evening, Professor.
Hello.
My name is Bituna. Yes. I'm working at LGI. I'm a Japanese teacher in Japanese core division.
Oh, you speak Japanese?
Yes.
Oh, so you study in Japan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's good.
少しだけ。
少しだけ。日本、which city you study in Japan?
Tsukuba University.
Oh, okay. Tsukuba Center used to teach.
1 year.
茗ヶ谷? Tokyo? Or Tsukuba? Tokyo. 茗ヶ谷? I mean the place. Where you study.
何ですか？もう一度お願いします。
筑波大学は茗ヶ谷ですか？東京文京区？
日本語教育です。
いや、で、場所どこだったんですか？場所は。
場所、
その、つくば市ですか？
つくばキャンパス。
つくばキャンパスだった。はい。東京キャンパスじゃなかった。東京じゃなかった。あ、わかりました。OK。はい、ありがとうございます。はい。OK, thank you very much. So now everyone already has done their introduction, right? Okay, so maybe we have a short break because I think it's exactly middle of today's 3-hour session. どうですか、藤岡先生、ポンキョ先生。
Yes, we can make
yes,
maybe short break.
Yeah, maybe.
Around 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
5 minutes, go to the toilet.
Okay, yes. And quick dinner.
We can, because we have to release the tension.
ありがとうございます。じゃあ、ブレイクで。
พัก5 นาทีเด้อไปปลดทุกข์。
ポンキョ先生、あれですか、日本の会社でも働いてたんですか？日本の会社でも働いてたんですか？
働いたことがありません。
働いたことはないんですか？
愛国心を持っているから、早めに帰国しました。
10年、すごいですね。
11年。
11年。最初の日本語学校行って、で、学部修士博士。
はい。
すごいな。
留学しました。
で、そのまま、あれですか、ラオス国立大学に就職したんですか？
ずっと。
レクチャラーから。
はい。
ラオス国立大学もやっぱあれですか、レクチャラーとか、アソシエイトプロフェッサーとか、プロフェッサーと同じ仕組みですか？
そうですね、ありますけども、私は申請してなかったので、はい、ポジションを取るためにはやってなかったので、だから私はこのままでの、博士だけです。
そうなんですか。
ドクターだけです。
タイもね、なんか難しいんですよね。日本はもう一回レクチャーになると、ほぼ自動的に、アソシエイトとかプロフェッサーとか、
そうですか。
なるけど、タイとかは結構、プロフェッサーになるの難しいんですね。
そうですね。私はね、ちょっとね、大学の命令で、任命で、私はあちこち移動されまして、だから、学問的の、なんで、成果があまり、
論文がね、
動かされたのでね。だから申請するとき、エンジニアリングでもないし、ビジネスでもないし、
なるほど。
だから、プロフェッサーとか、助教授とかね。まだ全然取ってない。
そういうことなんですね。でも今 LJI も忙しいじゃないですか。
LJI に相手から、私は LJI で勤めるのは、去年からですね。まだ新しい。
そうなんですね。
これからすると LJI でやると思いますけどね。
日本からのビジターも多いですか？あんまり今は少ないですか？日本からのお客さんは訪問者。
よくいらっしゃいますね。いろいろお客さんが来て、交流するための目的を持って、いろいろあります。最近はこれから、なんとか、日本で技能実習活動。技能実習なんとかのために、LGI はどういう立場で、どういう役割で、日本語を勉強教えることができるかと、どうかね。ちょっといろいろ相談しに来るお客さんも結構います。
でも今、あれじゃないですか。僕、前だからその5年ぐらい前に、ビエちゃん行った時に、結構中国の、影響力がすごいじゃないですか、今、ラオス。インベストメントとかも含めて。日本のインベスターとかもちょっと少ないじゃないですか。そういう意味で、ラオスの若い人たちは、日本語とか、日本の文化とか、日本の企業とかに、あんまり関心を持ってないかなとちょっと心配してるんですけど、その辺はどうですか？
ちょっと、少し、 減っているけどね。日本のビジネスの動きがちょっと遅いから。
遅い。
遅い。日本人はシステマティックだから、ちょっといろいろ詳しく考えて、あまりすぐにやり方じゃないですね。
はい。そう。
だからちょっと遅くて、中国人の会社が割と多いですね。多い方ですね。
そうですね。あんまりラオスの学生さんが日本企業に就職とかってあんまり考えてないですよね。みんな。
考えています。これからなんとか日本の企業がラオスに入ってくるんじゃないかなと期待しますよね。もちろん政府期待しますね。日本と一緒に、ビジネス化していくのは結構システマティックな信頼性が高いと言われていますけどね。
今ですかね。
信頼性が高い。
ちょっと増えてきたんですかね。矢崎とか、自動車の部品メーカーとかがちょっとずつラオスしてくれるじゃないですか。
そうですね。
ね。なるほどな。ちょっと
もしいらっしゃいましたら、LGI まで、なんとか、話し合うとか、相談し合うこととか、情報交換し合うできましたら、ぜひ、LGI までいらっしゃってください。
そうですね。いや、だからもし次、行くとしたら、日本のビジネスマン連れて行こうと思っているので、日本のビジネスマン、例えば10人とか15人とか一緒に行こうと思うんで、なんかビジネスマッチングみたいな。
そう、マッチング。
そういうイベントとかを、セミナーとかを一緒にできないかなと思って。
できますよ。
ね、ぜひ、3泊4日とかで、だからバンコクに3泊して、ラオスに2泊とかして、なんか5泊とかでツアー組めないかなと思ってるんですよ。
作ったら、ぜひ。
はい。またお声が相談します。
一緒に行動してください。
はい。そうですね。いいと思うんですよ。日本の人もラオスに興味あっても、なかなかコネクションがないから。ラオスの人と話すチャンスがないから。だから実際ラオスのそのビジネス環境が今どうなってるとか、ラオス人ね。
もう一つのチャンネルですけど、私たち、ジャオール、ジャパンアルムナイオフラオスという機関がありますね。ちっちゃい機関だけどね。ちょっと、彼らもなんとかビジネスも多少やっていますので。
ぜひね、みんな
あと、通訳とかいろいろ、後輩たちがいますので、もし、通訳の、
そうですね。
やる人を探した方ら探してあげます。
またじゃあ、相談します。ありがとうございます。もう5分ぐらい経ったかな？大丈夫か？
終わりました。กลับมาเด้อ please come back
ヤオルさん、元日本留学組で。
No online infected COVID. No COVID online. บ่มีเนาะโควิดออนไลน์โควิดบ่มีสบายเรียนอยู่ห้องหมอก็ได้บางคนเรียนอยู่ We can study even we are in hospital. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Please start.
Taro-san, I found some comments from students.
Yeah, but
today it's okay, but I think your voice is not clear.
Okay, so
tomorrow you can ask your IT staff to fix it.
Okay,
so that students can hear your voice more clearly.
Okay, because today, I'm from my desk, but tomorrow I'm gonna use a special space, like a studio or something. So yeah, and the visual and then voice will be nicer.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, now we know each other, and so how we continue this?
No. I can start talking.
Oh yes, please. Okay.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm Taka Fujioka. You can just call me Taka. Right. So as Taro-san's very, very long introduction of Japan Center and activities, right? And your kind of introductions, I get some ideas about you. But my first question is, how many of you are familiar with the subject of management? Because now you are Laos Japan Institute MBA students. Right? So have you already taken some class or some sessions related to strategy, management, and global management? How many of you have learned management or the concept of strategy or concept of global management or international management or international business? I just would like you to, I just would like to know about your background and knowledge about the concepts and theories so that I can adjust my contents. Because I remember last year, some students told me the contents was a bit too advanced, right? So, because when we use a case, right, we assume that you have already known several concepts related to strategy, international business, or cross-cultural management, right? But if you are not familiar with those concepts, I can start, explaining from some basic concepts. So if you are already known those concepts, right, well, then I don't need to explain those basic concepts. So I just would like to know how many of you have learned or taken the course related to strategy, international business, or general management. Do you know the function of this reaction? Something like this. Now you can see my hand on the screen. So I just would like to know how many of you are familiar with the concept of management or strategy or international business? Can you raise hand by using this reaction function? Only 1, 2. Taro-san, you can count it. I think you are mute.
Okay.
Management is concept.
Okay. So how many of you are the first time to learn about management, international business, or strategic management? Okay. So you have already taken several classes related to e-commerce and strategy. So you studied, I think all of you, or only some of you? I just would like to know. All of you. Okay. So when you studied the concept of strategy, what kind of concept you have studied? Anything is fine. So I just would like to know about the background. Anyone is fine. What kind of concept you have studied? Or you haven't studied any concept? Or what kind of theories you have learned? Or what kind of examples you have learned with that previous professor? Yes, thank you. Estelle, yes. Okay, so you studied about how the companies analyze external environment, right? When you formulate strategy, you need to understand the current situations. And by understanding current situations, you have to think about where you want to go, right? This ideal positioning. So the strategy is something to fill in the gap between what you are now and what do you want to be, right? In order for you to understand existing positioning, you need to understand your external environment. Okay, So pestle analysis, right, provide you the information, systematic, views for you to analyze external environment, right? Yes, very good. Anything else? What kind of concept you have studied? Because today's orientation, so I'm not going to explain any difficult theories or frameworks yet.
Excuse me, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Nita-san. Yes.
Yeah. For I study, we to know when we can create some brand, we have a vision.
Vision,
and
mission,
value,
objectives.
Yes, and we have to know segment target.
Segmentation, yes.
And for positioning on product.
Positioning the product. Oh, it's very good. So you have studied marketing strategy as well.
Yes.
Okay. So when you formulate strategy, right, first things as Tong-san mentioned, we need to analyze external environment, right? And then we also need to know what is our mission, vision, philosophy, in order for us to decide our corporate objectives. Okay? And once you formulate, right, those kind of concept, basic concept, vision, missions, right, and defining objectives, then we need to think about segmentation. What kind of segment of the market are we going to approach, right? And how we are going to target it, and how we are going to differentiate ourselves in order for us to take a unique positioning. This is what we call STP approach. Okay? Segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Okay? In order for us to think about our product, our services, we need to think about what kind of segment are we going to aim for. Right? If we are automotive makers, are we going to for the luxury market, or kind of mass market, or very niche small market, like sports car, or very unique kind of SUV, that kind of things. Okay, and then once you identify those segmentations, right, we need to target, right, one segment, and once we target the segment, we have to think, right, about our competitors, right? Because some competitors are also trying to offer some goods or service to the customers, segmented customers, targeted customers, right? So in order for us to enjoy our higher performance than the average, right, we need to differentiate ourselves. This is what the positioning offers. Okay, this is you have studied. But don't worry, today I don't use that much PowerPoint, right? But from tomorrow, I'm going to reintroduce those concepts to you. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Any other concept you have studied? Because I have been in the business school for nearly 20 years, right? I studied in the UK and then Chicago at the Kellogg School of Management, and I taught there, and then coming back to Bangkok, and now in Tokyo. Right? So I try to customize, my class as much as possible in order for you to be able to learn, as much as possible from my class. Any other concept if you remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Also 5-4.
Oh, 5-4 you have studied.
Yes.
So you know Michael Porter. Have you studied Michael Porter? 5 forces model, right? So 5 forces model is also for us to understand our external environment. Okay. I'm not sure if you have studied from your professors. 5 forces, right? We have 5 different factors which influence to our competitive pressures, right? In order for us to enjoy profitability, right, we need to consider 5 different factors. Okay, so this was Michael Porter's 5 forces model. But if you remember those all 5 forces, do you remember what were the 5 forces? Anyone is fine. One is existing competitors, right? Existing competitive conditions. This is in the central, right, of the 5 forces. Don't worry, I will explain, to you again. But I just wanna want to know about how much you still remember about those concepts. What kind of pressures gives impact on our profitability? First is current situation of competitions. Yes, Kath.
I think policy. The first one is policy.
Quality. Okay. Yes, very good. Quality, cost, and speed. Delivery. Like those kind of 3 key factors are very important for us to enjoy our competitive edge. But from the perspective of 5 forces model, right? Let me bring back to the discussion of 5 forces model, right? What kind of 5 forces may impact on the profitability of the firm? First is current conditions, right, of the with competitors, the situation of industries, right? And what else? If you remember, okay, today I will just briefly explain, right? And tomorrow we are going to learn more a little bit in depth with the case of Lego, okay? Right. Another factor is pressure or negotiation power of suppliers. Do you remember? Maybe you just recall what you have studied.
Supplier and buyer.
Yes, supplier and buyers. Right? Buyers is usually your customers. Right? So if your customers has more negotiation power, right, we have to manage those powers. But in order for us to provide any goods or service, right, we need to purchase, right, something from our suppliers. So the negotiation powers of suppliers also influences on our profitability. Right? What else? Very good. What else?
Asian countries.
2 more. You can just open your note if you want.
Substitutes, right? You mentioned already. How about substitutes?
Substitute, yes. Substitute, right, is also very important, right? Before we have been using, that kind of Nokia mobile phone and BlackBerry, if you remember, right? But nowadays, no one uses BlackBerry, right? That kind of things is a substitute, right? So we also need to think about the threat of the substitute when we formulate a strategy. Very good. What else? Seko-san can help if you want. You also studied at the business school, right?
Okay.
Or you can Google it.
Yeah.
Everyone can use the Google, okay, because I cannot see what you are doing, right, on the screen. So you can take your advantage by taking a class, right, using the Zoom, okay? And this class, I don't want to make it too serious, okay, because it's 3 hours every day, 3 hours and 30 minutes every day, and the daytime you work, right? So I'd like to make it, more, casual, and you don't need to be shy. You can make a lot of mistake in the class, so that you will not make mistake in the real business. Okay. What else? What is the last one? Now everyone give me 4 factors. What was the last one?
Competitor.
Yes, competitor is in the middle. Yes, very good. That's what I mentioned. What else, Taro-san? You can help me. You can help them.
So everyone just Google it. Use Google it. 5 force model, Michael Porter.
Yes,
Very good. Yes.
The trees of new entrants.
Yes, new entrants, right? Because if your goods or service attracted a lot of customers, right? If you see one shop right, has been offering very popular food or drinks. Right? Soon everyone copied. Right? So in order for you to think about your strategy, you always need to think about new entrants. Right? So as I explained, right, as we all understood now, right, in order for us to keep enjoying higher profitability on the average in industry, we need to think 5 different factors. Okay, this is Michael Porter's 5 forces model. Okay, very good. Anything else? Any other concept you study?
I think one more is the SWOT analysis. So
SWOT analysis, it's very good, very good. Can you explain a little bit more about SWOT analysis? What does SWOT means?
SWOT,
SWOT, right? Yes.
Yeah, social, technology, and also opportunity, weakness, strength, something like that.
Yes, something like that.
To me, I only remember about around this. Also, the last we learned about the Kaizen theory. The Kaizen theory, like
you studied from Japanese professor.
Yeah, right. And improvement in the business. So this is very important.
Continuous improvement. This is what Japanese manufacturers were good at. Right? This is in order for us to enhance efficiency. Okay, I'm going to explain those concepts tomorrow. Okay, so I think you will get more clear understandings about strategy and concepts related to management. So I hope you can see the difference in the way of teaching from the business school and other professors. Okay, at the business school we go. I'd like to you to experience how business school teach a business. Right to you. So yes, thank you, Tia-san. SWOT analysis, right? SWOT analysis is strengths, right? In order for us to formulate a strategy, we also need to understand what is the strengths of ourselves, right? This is S, strengths, right? And then at the same time, we need to think about our weakness. What is the weak point of our product or service of our business? Okay, this is S and double, right? And O is opportunities, right? What kind of opportunities do we have, right? T is threat, right? What kind of threat do we have when we formulate strategy? Okay, so if you think S double O T, right? If you have a note with you, right, you can write S double on your left hand side, right? S double, right? O T on the other side. Okay. By the way, you can see my face and my picture, or everyone can see. If you can see the screen, right? Sometimes I can use whiteboard. Okay, everyone can see?
Yes.
Yes. So you can write this side S double, the other side O T. Okay. So O T, right? Opportunity and threat, right? Those two factors are external of our product or service or our companies, right? So O T is external environment, not internal, external, okay? And S double, this is internal analysis, internal, ourselves, right? What is strength of ourselves? What is weakness of ourselves, okay? So in order for us to formulate strategy, we need to think and analyze and understand internal environment and external environment, okay? So, right, this is very basic formula. Strength and weakness, right? This is internal. Opportunity and threat is external environment. So as Tong-san mentioned, the pestle analysis, right? Political situation, economic situation, right? That kind of things is external analysis. right? So when we think about opportunities and threat, right? Next step is we want to go a little bit in depth for us to understand our current external situations, right? In order for us to analyze a little bit more in depth of external environment, we can apply, for example, pestle analysis, right? Okay, that is external analysis. And the 5 forces model, if you remember, that is for external analysis, right? This understanding is very important. Okay, external analysis. So all of those 5 forces, right? If you remember, existing competitive conditions, right? This is the environment. Okay, buyers, suppliers, negotiation powers, right? That is also external factors. Okay, substitute and new entry. This is also external factors. Okay. So if you understand like this way, right, you know the pros and the cons, or in other words, the advantage and the disadvantage of the frameworks. Okay. So Michael Porter's 5 forces model, right? This is very useful if you want to understand external factors which will influence on your profitabilities. Okay. On the other hand, if you want to analyze internal resources or internal environment, that 5 forces model will not provide anything, right? Because there is no perspectives within those 5 forces. Have you got my point? Okay. So I will explain a little bit more tomorrow by using the slide. So I hope you will understand a little bit more clearly. Okay. And this Michael Porter's 5 forces model, right? This is what we call positioning view of strategy. Okay. How we are going to position ourselves in order for us to avoid, right? To avoid competition. Okay. Not to compete, but to avoid competition. Okay. We need to think about 5 different factors. This is a correct way of understanding of 5 forces model. Okay. Any other concept or theories you have studied? Don't worry, today, I think you might feel this is, too much information, but I will repeat, right, this kind of things throughout the class. And when you analyze Lego case, right, I want you to use 5 forces model, okay? So that you will know how we are actually use 5 forces model, right? Because just drawing those 5 factors, right, will not help you to formulate strategy at all, okay? But in order for you to formulate, I'd like you to know how you have to utilize those 5 forces model in more dynamic way. Okay, this is a case of Lego, right? The reason why I selected Lego is I want you to really understand how you're gonna formulate basing on 5 forces model, right? Formulate strategy. Okay. Any other concept you have studied? Anything else?
Human management.
Human resource management. Okay, you have a study. Okay. Any concepts or any frameworks you studied about HRM, human resource management?
Sorry, I remember maybe professor can explain more about human.
Yes, I will explain. Yes. Yes. So as Chan-Sari-san kindly mentioned, right? In order for us to think about competitiveness of firms, we also need to manage our own human resources. Okay. So this human resources is external factors or internal factors, if I ask you?
Internal,
right? Yeah. Yes. So you studied a lot about external factors, 5 forces model, pestle model, right? Opportunity and threat, right? But less frameworks, right, in relation to internal factors, right, and human resource management, concepts related to human resource management are some of the frameworks for you to understand or to analyze internal factors. Okay, so when you input, right, when you run new concepts or theories, right, first thing I want you to think is, is this for you to analyze internal resources or environmental factors outside? Okay, and of course, in reality, right, we have to combine both perspectives, right, to formulate strategy, right? But I want you to be able to understand, right, to use concept, right, basing on the right understanding. Okay, so again, 5 forces model cannot be used for you to analyze internal resources. Okay, or pestle analysis is also same, right? That is not for internal analysis. Okay. Any other? Yes, Tosan. Yes, please. PDCA, yes, PDCA is something you study from operational management, or you study maybe Japanese management when you study the Kaizen, right? That kind of concept, right? Japanese professor likes to use PDCA cycle, right? Yes, that kind of things is also internal, right? Management, PDCA, yes, plan, do, check, action, right? Right? That kind of cycle is very important for us to put strategy into operation or operationalize strategy. Okay, very good. Any other concept or any other theories or frameworks? Anything is fine. Product life cycle. Yes, something like this, right? You can see my finger. This is what we call S curve. Do you know S? Right? The beginning and growth stage, maturing stage, and declining stage. Okay, so any kind of product or service follow that kind of cycle, right? It's just a matter of how long does it take time, right? To the start, growing, maturing, and declining. Okay. So if we understand that kind of S curve, right? Important thing for you to formulate strategy is for you to continuously drawing new S curve. Okay. Because any kind of product or service is eventually going down. So before going down, we have to formulate another S curve, right? So continuously formulating new S curve are the one of the key objectives of formulating strategy. Okay, very good. Any other framework or concept you study?
7S.
7S.
Yes.
Oh, you studied. You like consulting? You know McKinsey's concept, right? In order for us to formulate strategy, right, we also need to think about 7 different S, right? Right. Maybe tomorrow I can explain those kind of concepts, right?
And also we remember that about competitive position strategy.
Competitive strategy, yes, it's very good, right? Very good. So when we talk about strategy, right? Strategy, yeah. Okay. If I ask you, because if you are studying at the business school or if you are a business person, everyone use strategy, right? And professors often use strategic management, strategic human resource management, strategic control system, right? And everyone use the term strategy, right? But if I ask you, what does strategy mean? What does strategy mean? How you are going to answer? For example, if your son or a daughter or your wife or your boyfriend, girlfriend asking you, right? Or you are studying business school, right? At the business school and getting MBA. So I have heard the concept of strategy, but I don't know what that strategy means. Can you explain it? And how are you going to explain? one of the most important concepts called strategy. Does anyone can help? What does strategy mean, by the way? Right? We often use the term strategy. But does everyone use the term strategy in the same way? Or each person define strategy in their own ways? What does strategy mean? Anyone is fine. You can give me.
Like the strategies, we mean like we focus some target group like the customer.
So very good. Strategy is something for us to target.
Yeah.
Right? Segmentation, our customers, product, anything, right? So strategy has to show the targeting. Okay, it's very good. Anything else? What does strategy? Strategy is only targeting.
Yes, may I ask more?
Yes, yes, yeah. Everyone can give me input. Yes.
I think strategy is a direction of how to go.
Direction, yes.
Yeah.
Direction where to go, right?
Yes.
Which direction we are going to. So strategy has to show the way where we go. Okay. So strategy is about, positioning, right? And strategy is also to show perspective, right? When we use the term strategy, there are different views on strategy. Okay, very good. One is to show the vision, mission, or direction. And this is what we call strategy as perspective. And what Pana Wilson mentioned is strategy as positioning. How we are going to positioning ourselves, right? How we are going to target segmentation, targeting, positioning, right? That is what we call strategy as positioning. Okay, and what Chan Tari-san mentioned is strategy as perspective. Very good. Anything else?
Professor, I think in general, so strategies like the manual or the guidelines for
guidelines, yes, or manual.
In order to bring us to the goal, we have to set the clear goal, like from where we are from, and
very good, very good. So strategy, when we show the vision or mission or directions, right, and when we position ourselves, right, we need to kind of manage, right, how we are going to organize our organizational activities. We need to have a plan. We need to have a feedback, right? We need to have some goals, right? How we are going to measure it. Right? This is what we call strategy as planning. Right? We need to have a plan to check actions, right? Right? So when we talk about strategy, we study 3 different perspectives. Strategy as perspective, strategy as positioning, strategy as planning. Right? What else? Anything else? What kind of strategies do you know? If I ask you, any good example of strategy? Yes, please, please. Yes, this is something like very clear vision, right? Of position, future visions, right? To be Asian #1 bank or Asian recognized bank, right? This is your ideal positioning, right? And then you need to understand existing positioning, right? So that there is always gap between ideal positionings and current positioning, right? So in order for us to fill in the gap, right, we need to position ourselves, right, precisely, and also plan ourselves, right? And of course, we need to show the perspective, right? Very good. This is what we call, for example, tomorrow I will show you the slide, but as is to be analysis, okay? You can write if you can take a note, right, or write on the notebook, right? This left hand bottom, you can put as is, okay? As it is, ASIS, right? The other side, right side top, to be, right? Want to be. So there is a gap, right? Like this, right? So filling the gap, this is what you need to do, okay? In order for us to understand where to go, right? If we don't have that goals, right, or visions, we don't know where to go, right? So this is the reason why strategy as a perspective is important, okay? And in order for us to go there, we need to understand what we are now, what kind of current situations we are, okay? And then we need to plan ourselves, right? We need to positioning ourselves, okay? Anything else? Any other example of a strategy? If
Yes,
you want.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Let's we talk about the strategy because there are lots of strategy, but that strategy they have fixed to use or depend on the situation. We can do for the strategy need to because a loss like maybe customer, maybe competitor, something like that. The position.
Yes, very good. For example, right, when we formulate strategy plan, right, our or show our visions, right, this is not always, right, organizations or environment wait for us, right? There is always competitors. If you want to go this direction, maybe a lot of other competitors want to go those directions at the same time, right? Or sometimes environment might be changed, right? Like COVID-19, right? No one expected, right? So that kind of things might give you, right, hard time, right, for your plan. Because when you plan your strategy, right, you have some assumptions, right? But sometimes if competitors coming in, if customers' preference change, or if external environment has been changed drastically, right, then we have to reformulate, okay? So this kind of things is something like if you, someone mentioned about Kaizen concept, right, or continuous improvement, right? This is something like, gradually, right, we are trying to adjust our strategies, right, in order for us to fit with our customers or environment, right? So like this case, right, we don't have any clear strategy at the beginning, but rather by adjusting ourselves, right, throughout daily operations, everyday our operations with our everyday communication with our suppliers or customers, right, gradually we are changing, right, every week, every day, every month. And if looking back at that, right, at that time when you are coping with those, environmental change, right, you don't think anything about strategy. But if you look back, right, 5 years or 3 years or 1 year's time, then, right, your positioning is gradually changing one place to other places because you are keep on adjusting to environment. Right? This kind of things is not something like perspective, not something like planning, not something like positioning. Do you agree? Right? This is only understood when we look back ourselves, right, from the past, the present to the past. So we can understand strategy just as patterns. As for example, when you walk on the coast side, right, or on the kind of wet sand, right, if you walk, right, you can see your steps, right? And if you want to know from where we walked to one place, right, you can see footprint, right, on your back. So you can understand strategy only as patterns after you have done. Okay. So this is for different natures of strategy. Okay. When we talk about strategy, strategy can be understood as strategy as perspective. This is 1P. And this is what we call 4 P's of strategy. 4 P's of strategy. Strategy as patterns, right? Strategy as perspective. Strategy as planning. Strategy as positioning. Okay. So if you understand strategy into 4 different perspectives, right? Next step I want you to do is, okay, for strategy as perspectives, right? What kind of frameworks or concept we can use, right? When we think about strategy as a positioning, what kind of frameworks we can use? For example, 5 forces model, right? If we understand strategy as planning, what kind of concept we can use? Plan, do, check, action, for example, right? When we understand strategy as patterns, what kind of concept we can use, right? So like this way, right? What I can offer you is I'm offering actually for you to tidy up your desks, right? Your desks means your brain, right? You learn a lot of concepts. You read a lot of books, right? So you know some concepts. And nowadays you can Google it. You can learn a lot of new concepts, right? But your rules on your head, right? It's not tidy, right? You have so many different documents, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm providing you the shelf, right? For you to place, right, your knowledge into right corners, okay? Or files, right? When you put, when you run, you put some files and put some labels on it, right? So that whenever you want to run something, right, you can just take those files, okay? But without those files, right, you cannot organize, you cannot structure your brain, okay? So the reason why I'm offering the concept, right, is I want you to structure your brain, okay? So at the business school, the difference, right, between, some consultants or some professors who are not in the business school, they can teach you the concept or theories, but they will not offer, or they cannot offer how you are going to organize it, okay? So again, right, this is 4 P's of strategy, okay? But maybe you have studied 4 P's of marketing, right? Marketing 4P. Have you studied? Marketing 4P, yes, right? Product, place, promotion, price, right? In order for you to formulate your strategies, we need to think about 4 different P's, right? First one is what kind of product or service are you going to offer, right? Where you are going to offer, price. How much you are going to offer, price, right? And how you are going to make everyone knows this is a promotion. This is marketing 4 P's, right? And how you are going to do those, formulate marketing strategies by utilizing 4 P's this is what we call marketing mix, okay? And this is marketing 4 P's of marketing, right? But what I offer you is 4 P's of strategy. A lot of people knows about 4 P's of marketing, right? But what I just explained to you is 4 P's of strategies, okay? Tomorrow I will ask you the same question, right? To check if you have really learned from my session, okay? Okay, so any other way of explaining strategy? When someone asks you, what does strategy mean? How you are going to answer? What does strategy mean? Strategy is about perspective, positioning, patterns, and planning, right? This is how we are going to understand strategy, right? But any image or concept or any ways of explaining about strategy? Or I can change my way of asking you the question. What kind of strategy have you studied? marketing strategy you study, right? Any other strategy you study? Or any other strategy you know? Anything is fine. While I'm waiting, Taro-san, do you know any strategy? You are mute.
Sorry, I missed your explanation.
Oh, you are sleeping, right? I know.
So,
what kind of strategy do you know? Any strategy?
Differentiation.
Okay, differentiation strategy. Right? This is one concept of strategy. Very good. Any other concept, anyone? Differentiation strategy.
I have a question. I just have a question.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. How different between strategy and planning?
Strategy and planning. Yes, it's kind of overlap. So some people say strategy is about planning, right? In that case, right, if the situation of environment is very stable and we can very easy to predict about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years later, right, because the environment is very stable, then the important thing for us to formulate a strategy is how we are going to plan it, right? And to put management cycle, plan, do, check, action, right? So if environment is very stable, maybe strategy as planning may work very well, right? But if the environment is very uncertain, right, then maybe planning, the assumptions, right, of planning, right, is very easy to out of date, right? So in that case, more important thing is continuously changing, continuously adapting to the new environment. So in that case, right, strategy as patterns might make more sense for us, because even I plan now, right, the assumptions, right, of your plan is very easy to change, right? So like this way. So when I explained 4 different perspectives of strategies, right, it's not something like which strategy is superior or better than other strategy. Okay, we have to utilize those 4 concepts depending on your situations or your business context. Okay, so again, the important thing is not for you to learn about the concept, right? But for you to learn about how you to understand the context. Okay, so you have to be able to use concepts in the context. Okay, so we need to understand the context. I can just write it, right? Okay. Oh, sorry, misspelling. Okay. We need to utilize context in the situation or okay. So for example, 5 forces model, right? When we want to analyze our positioning, right? Or if positioning is very important for our business, then 5 forces model has to be used. Okay, but in some other context, right, we might need to prioritize other aspects of strategy. Okay, any other concepts of strategy like this way? You can feel free to ask me any questions. Okay, I try to answer as much as possible, and if I cannot answer, I will bring back for my homework, and the next day I try to explain. Okay, yes, please.
Sorry for interrupt you. Yeah, following with her questions, I would like to know in business or in other organization, like we should have we have only strategy is enough, or we should have an action plan along with the strategy, because I used to develop one strategy, communication strategy for NGO
communication
company.
strategy.
Yes,
this is another concept of strategy.
Right,
Yes,
PR. So I'm still have after the strategy for 5 years, so I still have a action plan for year to year. So I would like to know, like, but it, like you said, it's quite a little bit overlap. So it's enough to have only strategy, or the action plan should be following with the strategy as well. Because to me, I think it's quite complicated between when we have already the strategy, but the boss need, the action plan for a yearly action plan as well. So I mean, it's a double work for me, or I think like that. But I would like to know that that's correct, or
I think this is very correct from business person's perspective, right? Because even you formulate strategy or you write very beautiful pictures on the whiteboard, but this is just a concept on the whiteboard, right? In order for you to formulate strategy, right, in the meaningful way for your business, you have to operationalize it, right, into daily practice. Otherwise, if you don't change any actions, right, on the daily life, right, the strategy doesn't offer anything for your organization, right? So the key for strategy is to put into practice, right? So now we just talked about concepts, right? But concepts does not change your organization, right? So the important thing is, as Katya-san mentioned, right, we need to think about how we are going to operationalize those concepts into daily practice. Okay. This is another approach called strategy as practice approach. Okay, not strategy as planning. But I thought, if I increase the concept too much, you might confuse. So I just limit it for perspectives. But strategy as practice is another P. Right? So by doing so, right, by putting your communication strategies into daily life, right, you learn something from your experience, so you can modify it, right? But if you don't put into practice, right, we don't know where to modify, right? So one way of thinking is we have to formulate very clear plan, right, very beautiful plan to make our organization, right, more profitable. Another way is we don't know where to go, where to start. But in order for us to think, we need to move, right? If we don't move, we cannot run. This is more like strategy as learning, right? Learning process. Right? Learning is through the experience, right? But at the university, sometimes, right, we just focus on the concept or formulating, very beautiful pictures, right? But in reality, right, as you mentioned, or more important things at the business school is, right, we need to learn the difficulties of to put those concepts into practice. And so I think one of the best way is action learning, learning by doing. Okay. However, it's not that easy, right? Learning by doing, and if you fail at your actual organization, you will be fired. Okay. So this is the reason at the business school we use the case, right? You can make a lot of mistake in the case. You can make a mistake in the class. In order for you not to make a mistake in the real life, okay? So this is the reason why I set up the case assignment at Lego, ING, or Rakuten. I always you to think about as if you are the president. What kind of issues you need to think. As if you are the president of Rakuten, right? What kind of things are you going to change or not to change? If you are the CEO of ING, right? How you are going to reformulate your strategy, okay? This is not actual action learning, but, by using a case, right? You can put yourself, right, into virtual way as a president roles, right? So this is a meaning of the reason why we use a case. Okay, thank you very much. Any other strategy? Communication strategy is also one type of strategy. Yes, very good. Differentiated strategy is also one way of strategy. Any other concept of strategy? Yes, Tao-san, yes, please. Blue ocean strategies. Yeah, this is another concept. Blue ocean is, right? We go, we swim, right? The blue ocean where no competitors or no sharks, right? No enemies, right? We can just swim, right? So, but point is how we can find the blue ocean, right? Of course, blue ocean, red ocean, we want to choose blue ocean, right? So the concept of blue ocean is very easy for us to understand, but very difficult for us to identify where is blue ocean. Okay, because if we think this is blue ocean, but if we can see blue, everyone can go to the blue ocean, right? No one go to red ocean, right? So eventually blue oceans can be turned into red. Don't you think so? Right? So the important thing is not to find out blue ocean, right? Important thing is how we are going to create our own blue oceans, not the blue ocean for everyone, right? How we are going to hide ourselves, right? How we are going to hide, how we are going to make barrier, not other people to get into our blue ocean, okay? This is 5 forces models. Okay, so 5 forces model will help you to protect yourself from external enemies. Okay, this is more like a defensive strategy concept. So 5 forces model, if you here, right, this is more like aggressive model, right? People might think like that way, but the reality is the other way around. 5 forces model is for us to keep our blue oceans, right, for our own self, right? So this is the reason why we want to negotiate, we want to manage negotiation powers, right, of supplier and buyers, and we want to make more higher barrier, not new person come into our oceans, right? Or we want to make sure that any other substitute will not come into our blue oceans. Okay, this is 5 forces model. Thank you very much. Any other concept you have studied? We have 10 more minutes, and tomorrow I will use PowerPoint. Don't worry. I put all, I have thousands of slides to explain about strategy. So basing on today's discussion, I will customize my slide, and tomorrow I will explain to you by using more formulated PowerPoint. Any other concept of strategy you have studied? Communication strategy, blue ocean strategy, differentiated strategy, marketing strategy, HR strategy, anything else?
Competitive position strategy.
Competitive position strategy. Yes, very good, right? When we say strategy, right, competitive strategy is also important, right? What does competitive strategy? How we are going to compete with our competitors against customers in order for, we are not fighting, no, we are not killing each other, right? This is different from the war, right? War is we have to defeat the others, but in the business, right, it is not necessary for us to defeat the competitors, right? We are not killing, attacking each other, right? We are fighting, we are competing for the customers, right? But when we have, say, customers, right, we don't need to go for same customers, right? So how we can avoid competition is also competitive strategy. Okay, so this is competitive strategy, very important concept I'm going to explain tomorrow. All right, anything else? Very good. Any other concept? Yes, anything is fine. Yes,
ว่าอาจารย์ต้องออกจากห้องการไว้มือนะเพิ่นจะมีเบรกหน่อยสั่นลงเบรกสั่นลงแล้วเพิ่นจะมีเขาจะแล้วไว้ก็9 โมงพอเพิ่นจะต้องออกห้องการ Okay, I explain about Professor Fujioka has to get out from the office earlier than 11 o'clock in Japan.
Yes,
That's
maybe
why.
10 more minutes. Sorry, because the security person asked me to
do the security strategy.
Right.
Okay, do we have any question more? Around 10 minutes? No?
So I just wrap up what we have studied, right?
Okay.
Today, we studied 4 different P's of strategy, right? This is similar to 4 P's of marketing, right? In the same way, we have 4 P's of strategy, okay? And also, the strategy has a lot of concepts, right? And people use strategy in different ways, right? So strategy defined, right, handled other ways. So this is the reason when we talk about strategy in the meeting, right? We cannot, it's very difficult for us to get the common understandings because everyone talks strategy in different ways, right? Because maybe one person's strategy is one thing, but for other person's strategy is totally another thing, right? But using same terms called strategy, right? So this is the reason why we need to understand the concept of strategies. At least we use at professional level, like you, right? You are going to get MBA, right? You are studying at the top school in Laos, right? So among ourselves, right, we clearly understand what kind of things we are talking about when we use the term strategy. Okay, so in order for us to define ourselves, we need to understand the concept more precisely. So 4 P's of strategies, and another one I'm going to explain tomorrow, right? 3 different hierarchy of strategy, right? Meaning the top management, middle management, and lower management, or functional management, right? When we talk about companies, we have different functions. Top management, like you, who are top executives, president, CEO, COO, CFO, that kind of person. So for them, right, the important thing is how you are going to allocate your resources in order for you to support your business, right? So this is top management strategy. This is what we call corporate strategy for the top management. But for the middle management, if you are in charge of one division, one service or product, right? You don't need to think about how you are going to allocate your budget, how you are going to allocate your organizational resources. That kind of things are not your responsibility, right? Your responsibility is how you are going to compete with your competitors within your service or products, right? Which you are asking to take in charge. So if you are the divisional managers of, for example, the beverage, right, or food sections, what you need to think is how you are going to compete, right, with competitors within your segment. This is what we call business strategy, right? It is different, right? Corporate strategy is how you are going to allocate your organizational resources across your corporations. And business strategy is for more like middle managers, how you are going to compete, right, with your competitors over customers. And this is what we call business strategy. Or as Bito-san mentioned, right, this is what we call competitive strategy. So when we talk about competitive strategy, this is what we nearly equal to business strategy. Okay, within certain segment of a service, how we are going to compete or differentiate ourselves. Okay. And another layers is at the frontline people or functional managers, right? Because if you are accountant, if you are operational management, right, or if you are HR managers, right, you don't need to think about how you are going to allocate your resources, right, or how you are going to compete. This is not your own responsibility. Your responsibility is within functions. How are you going to make sure that communication strategy is same? Right? If you are in the communications department or segment, right? You need to think about that kind of function strategy. This is what we call functional strategy or operational strategy for functional managers or lower managers or frontline managers. Okay. So when we understand strategies, now you know 3 different levels of strategy. For the top level, this is what we call corporate strategy. The middle level, right, or division level, right, this is what we call business strategies, or also known as competitive strategy. Okay, and each functions, HR, operation, accounting, finance, right, IT, we need to have IT strategy, communication strategy, financial strategy, accounting strategy, HR strategies. This is depending on functions. This is what we call functional strategy, or in other words, operational strategy. Okay. So like this way, when you think about strategy or when you use a term of strategy, I recommend you, now I'm talking about corporate level or business level or operational level. Okay? So that you can put, tidy up your structure, your brain a little bit better. This is what I think. Okay, so for today, I talked a lot. Maybe for first, half session, Taro-san talked very slowly to you, right? But at my session, I speed it up a little bit. But I understand if I keep on talking like this way for 3 hours and 30 minutes, you will be exhausted. So this is the reason where the Taro-san comes into our class. So sometimes, he takes in charge of more slow part, right? And then maybe later, I provide you a little bit more speeding up the class, okay? So tomorrow, don't worry, today I talked a lot, too much. But tomorrow, I will show you what to explain again by using PowerPoint slide, okay?
Okay.
So this is all for today from me.
Yes, thank you
for your patience.
Thank you very much.
I'm very looking forward to working with you for next 8 days. And my Japanese executives are very much looking forward to having the session with you on Saturday.
Okay.
So thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much,
See you
Professor Ponkeo Sensei.
See you on, yes. Otsukare-sama desu.
Otsukare-sama. Good night.
Good night. See you.
Thank you, teacher.